Alright, hello everybody. So in this second tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a 2D floor plan that you'll eventually extrude to make a 3D house model. So first things first, we have to create a new file. And again, please make sure that you're clicking feet and inches. Once you click feet and inches, it'll bring you into a new file. Now, this is great, right? We're all set up, ready to go, but we need to, since we're making our 2D floor plan, right, we want to look at everything from a top view perspective. And in SketchUp, there's a way to look at your file from the top view. So in order to do that, you're going to go to the right-hand side of your screen, and you're going to see that there's kind of like this scene thing, okay, like how you see like with the movies. And it is literally called scenes. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on the middle icon right here. And what that's going to do is basically snap your projection to the top view. So you have a nice view of the top of your floor plan when we start drawing it. I just find this is way easier than looking at it from an angle, especially since we're going to be drawing offset lines for walls and things like that. So first things first, we're going to close this box so we have a nice view of our whole entire screen here. And we have to make now the base of our floor plan. Now, again, this is practice, right? So since this is practice, you're going to be going off of my dimensions. So with that being said, what you're first going to do is grab the rectangle tool and click on the origin. Right, it should snap right there. And then you can go ahead and move this up and down to make sure that you're snapped on. Now, like I said, of course, your floor plan is probably going to be a way different dimension or measurements that mine is, which is okay. Again, this is only just practice. So what you're going to type in for the base of our floor plan is 60 feet, comma, 60 feet. And click enter. And it should expand. Now, what you're going to do, because obviously we can't see this whole entire thing, we have to zoom out a little bit. So again, to zoom out, you're just going to move with 2 fingers on your trackpad, and you can see mine's kind of like zooming out a little bit. Now, it's zooming out kind of towards the left, so what I'm going to do is, you'll see down here where the orbit tool was that we used last time, you'll find like a hand. Now this hand, it pans over the screen so you can get to different parts of your design. So I'm going to click on this hand, and I'm just going to click and hold and kind of go to the center of this floor plan and then continue to zoom out. And then I could pan again a little bit upwards, and now I could see the whole entire thing. Now the last thing we have to do before we get started, well, I guess the second to last thing is, if you remember down here, we have that like guy, right? Like right by the origin, and we have to move him. Now, yes, you could delete him and always put him back in, but I like to keep him there just to see my perspective like I was talking about in the last video. So to move him, all you have to do is click on the move button, right, which looks like these 2 double head arrows right over here. And you're going to just hover over by him, and once he turns blue, you can click and drag him over to the side anywhere. It does not matter, but we're going to keep him in there for now. Now what I would like you to do is kind of hover over this rectangle, or this square I should say, that we just made. Now right now it's gray, right? But if I go, and you don't have to do this, I'm going to do this just to show you, but if I went underneath here, it's white, right? So it's gray on top and it's white on the bottom, right? So this white just means it's the outside of, you know, your shape, which we want to reverse these faces, right? So the white is on the top right here. So to do that, you're going to right click, and if you look here, Oh, well, first you got to exit the orbit here. So we're going to click the select tool, and you're going to click now, right click, and click reverse faces. All right, so again, you want to make sure that you're out of the orbit tool by clicking the select button, and then you could right click and click reverse faces. And you could see now that turned my canvas white basically. All right, so it looks like that. So now what we have to do, we have our, our baseline here, but we now have to make our interior walls. So interior walls are an offset of 6 inches. So we're going to use our offset tool to help us with this. And that is in the same place as the extrude tool that we were using before, except it's the one on the bottom. If you hover over it, it will say offset like it is now. You're going to click on that, click on the center, and then you could kind of see, if I move my mouse in and out, that it's offsetting those lines and making, another equal square inside. So we're going to now type in, because like I said, we need to make this an offset of 6 inches. You're going to click 6 or type in 6 and then make that 6 inches, right? Not feet, 6 inches, and click enter. And it should look like this. So now we have our walls for our house. Now we have to create some rooms, and I'm going to show you how to also make a hallway with like a single wall, just so you know and get the gist and the feel for the program and how to make these types of things for your own house. So, you could, to make these rooms, you could use the pencil tool, all right, but I suggest using the rectangle tool to make your full size rooms. Now you have your dimensions on your end of how big your rooms have to be. So of course look at that when you're doing this. But again, since this is practice, you're going to go off of my dimensions. Now we're going to work mostly in this right part of this floor plan right now, just so we can get a feel for making some rooms. So with that being said, since I said we're working on the right side, we're going to make a room. I'm going to say it's going to be like an office, all right, in this upper right hand corner of the screen. So we're going to click, and you can see it like snaps to the endpoints. So once it snaps to the inner part, right, of that offsetted 6 inches of square that we made, right there, I'm going to click, and you can see that it's going to start making a rectangle. Now this room, I'm going to give you the dimensions, and it's going to be 20 feet, so 20, comma, 15 feet, enter. And it should look like that. Now what we're going to do is offset this room, right, because we have to make our interior wall 6 inches. So you're going to just click the offset tool, click on the room, and you can move your mouse around a little bit to make sure that it's snapping in correctly, and then type in 6 inches. And we're going to look at what is happening here. Now, it did do it correctly, and you're probably looking and saying, whoa, that's like a double wall. And it is a double wall, so we have to erase some of these lines here. So you're going to go over to the left-hand side and click on the eraser tool, which is right under the select tool. When you click on the eraser, what I want you to do is kind of hover over where we want to erase, which is going to be like up towards the top here. And I'm just going to zoom in so I can see that a little bit better. And what you're going to do is erase the innermost top line. So the one that I'm hovering over right now, you're going to click on it and erase. Then you're going to do the same thing on the right side, the innermost wall right here. You're going to click and it'll erase. If you ever mess up and, it takes time and practice to, zoom into these things. So if you're kind of confused on which wall to erase, just always make sure you're erasing the innermost wall. And if you, make a mistake, you just click Control Z, right? And you can just do it again. There we go. So now you can kind of see there's gaps here and down here. So we have to fill in those gaps. And you could tell if there is a gap by looking at the line shading. So this line is like bold, right? So that means that it's not connected to anything and it's just a line. It won't make a wall. So we have to connect these back to the other lines. So to do that, I'm going to just click on the pencil tool. And I'm going to go to the tippy top of this line and then extend it, and you'll see it'll say on edge. That's what we want. And then I'm going to click. Now, right now, it wants to still draw. So to come over here, we have to escape or get out of this tool before we can go to this bottom corner over here. So you're going to click the escape button on your keyboard, and then you're going to draw down here like that. And now you see, as soon as I did that, right, so I'll do that again, like right now it's still bold because, you know, it's not connected, but as soon as I connect it, it's that thinner line, right? It's not shaded as boldly, right? It looks like the other lines, which is what we want to see. Now, the last thing we have to do is erase these inner small lines. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and erase that one, and go up on the top here and erase that one. The key to zooming in is basically putting your cursor wherever you want to go and zoom into, and then it'll zoom into that spot. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a second room right below here. Okay, I will call this like a bathroom. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and just pan a little bit down so you can see. And I'm now going to make this, you know, roughly not the same length, but we're gonna try and make this the same width as the other room. So what we're going to do is, you know, let's just say you forget, okay, I forget how long this line is right here. You could take your tape measure and you can go, right, from this end point to this end point, right? So we're going to the end of the wall, and it shows up that it's 20 feet, right? So now I know that number needs to be 20 feet. All right, so you could do the same thing also, like, let me zoom out here, end to end this way, right? If you remember, it was 15 feet, and it is. You could also check if it's not coming up, like sometimes it's finicky and it doesn't pop up. You could look on the bottom right hand corner as well, and it'll tell you the length, right? So that was a 20 by 15 feet room. So I definitely want to make sure 20 is my first number here. So let's take out another rectangle tool. And what you're going to do is when you extend this out, right, you want to make sure that it's in the innermost corner, and you're going to extend upwards. All right, so we can do the length of this room first. So you're going to type in 20 feet, comma, 10 feet, and it should snap like that. Now what we have to do is the same process that we did for the first room, which is offset the room 6 inches, and then we can go ahead and erase those lines. Now remember, you want to erase the top and right side innermost lines. And then we're going to reconnect these lines. So I'm going to zoom in here because it's not snapping like I want it to. Click escape. Do the other side. It'll lightly turn to a lighter line like that. And I'm going to go ahead and erase those small lines. And there we go. Now what we're going to do is draw a singular wall. Okay, so like I said, we're going to say this is an office. This is a bathroom, and over here, you know, we need a hallway to get into those rooms, so that's what we're going to make. All right, and of course, we need a wall on the other side of the hallway, because let's just say, like, this is going to be, like, the kitchen / dining area, so we want to separate these living spaces. So what you're going to do to make a singular wall is you're going to grab the pencil tool, and you're going to click wherever you want this hallway to basically end, I'm gonna say, like on the other side. So I think that looks pretty good. It doesn't matter on your end how far you do it. All right, this is just practice. And then you'll see here, right, it turns black and green. Now green means it's gonna be straight, right, on that axis. So we want to make sure that the line's gonna be green, and then we can go down however far we want. Now I'm gonna go just to the middle, right, because it shows you the middle point basically, right, or to the ends of those rooms. Or it also shows you to the end of, you know, the last room, basically. All right, so I'm going to make my hallway. Let's go to the end of the rooms here, right? Because it's like beginning of the hallway to begin those sets of rooms. So we're just going to draw a line here and click. Now what you're going to do is you're not going to click off, you're not going to click escape, and you're going to make kind of like a line or move your cursor to the left so you can see that red line there. All right, that means it's a straight line on that axis. So we're going to make this, if you remember, like I said, 6 inches are inner walls. So we're going to type 6 and then inches and click enter. And you can see it drew, and I'm going to zoom in to show you here. It drew that line 6 inches to the left. Now, right, we got to draw it back up to connect to our wall up top on our outer wall. So again, you want to make sure you're seeing that green line, right? So it's straight. Let me zoom out here. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw that line straight up until it says on edge, which it does. And you're going to click. Then, of course, we have to erase that little tiny bit of line left over. So I'm going to zoom in there and erase. And there you go, right? So now we have like a little hallway here and our 2 rooms, our bathroom and our office. All right, it's separating that from the rest of the house. Now, let's just say we won't make any more rooms, but let's say this is the front of my house right here. So let me zoom out so we can see the whole thing. All right, let's just say I want my front door to be over here. When you walk in, I want there to be, I don't know, like a closet. Right, so we're going to make a closet really quick. So we're going to take the rectangle tool again, and I want you to put or start this rectangle on the innermost line of this plan right here. It doesn't matter where. Again, if we're going to put the door here, it should be kind of close to the door so people can put their jackets and such in there. So I'm going to kind of make it over here. And I'll draw my box this way. So we're going to make this closet 8 feet by 3 feet. 8 feet, comma, 3 feet. And there we go. Now, of course, with this also, you need to offset. Even though it's a closet, we still have interior walls there. So we got our 6 inches. And, of course, we have to erase. Now, with this one, we have no wall above, so we're only going to have to erase the right wall there since it is connecting to another wall. So I'm going to erase the outermost, or the innermost wall, I should say, grab my pencil tool, draw my lines, escape, draw my other line, and then grab that eraser tool to finish this up here and erase those little tiny lines. And I have a closet there. Now one of the last things I'm going to show you how to do is how to make doors, or just places or placeholders for doors right now. I'm not going to show you how to actually make a 3D door. That'll be in a separate tutorial. But I'm going to show you how to basically just place where you want to put these doors. Now, like I was saying before, this is going to be the front door, right? So I'm going to draw a door somewhere over here in this area. So to do that, you're going to grab your pencil tool, and we're going to draw a line vertically from here to the outside edge, like that. Now, what you're going to do is, it doesn't matter if you click on the top or the green dot of this line that we just drew, but you're going to click, and you're going to kind of draw or make sure the pencil is going towards the left side of this green dot. So we know the line that we're about to draw is going to the left. Doors are typically 3 feet, right, which is 36 inches. Okay, so we're going to now draw a line that is 3 feet long, right? So we have a practical door size. So I'm going to type in 3 feet. And now what happened is you'll see, okay, that a green dot appeared now. Like if you put your pencil tool on that line, on that black line, whichever one you picked, either up here or on the bottom, right? So mine's on the top most line here. And now a green line is there, all right, showing you that that's 3 inches. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to bring my line now down to the bottom So now you can see that rectangle there is showcasing that's where my door is. Now we're going to add doors on the bathroom and the office. So again, we're going to grab the pencil tool and we're going to make a line. Then I'm going to type in, after I click on one of the edge points, I'm going to type in 3 feet. And I'm going to find that green dot, which is there, and then go back up. Same thing for this office space here. We're going to click the edge points, make a horizontal line, and then again, you're going to click either this left green dot or the right green dot, work your way up and click or type 3 feet. Then after that, you're going to find the green dot, and that's marking where the 3 feet line was put, and you're going to finish that door. And there we go. All right. Now, this, of course, right, if we look at this floor plan right now, I have of course, a lot of empty space to the left side, right? So we're just going to pretend that this is a really open floor plan. And you walk in your room, here's the family room or the kitchen, dining room. It's just very open. All right. Of course, your floor plan is going to be a lot more structured than mine, and have a lot more rooms and right, because you have to have at least 5 rooms on your floor plan. So yours is going to look obviously a little bit more in depth than mine. But we're going to just leave this like this, because once you're done with all of your rooms, let's pretend I drew all of my rooms. You're going to extrude the walls up. So this is kind of the cool part where you kind of see the magic, basically come together. All right, so you're going to see that right now, there's no extrude tool. Okay, the offset tool is where the extrude usually is. So you're just going to have to click on that offset tool and then click on the extrude or push and pull tool again to snap it back into view. And you're now going to not extrude like this middle part or the rooms, but you're going to extrude the walls. So if you have to like zoom in, right? And you'll see the dots come up in that thin wall area that we made. So you're going to click there and you'll see now the walls are extruding outward, which is pretty cool, right? To see all of that come to life. So typically wall sizes are about like 9 feet high. Okay, so you're gonna just type 9 feet and click enter, and let's rotate around here. I'm gonna orbit to show you, but now you can see that your house is kind of coming together, right? The walls are up and we are good to go. All right. Now, let's zoom in here. Okay, you can kind of see that there's lines like in your rooms. Okay, like you see there's one in the closet and there's one over here. What you could do is, just to clean everything up really quick before we go to the next step, is just delete these lines on the walls. You don't need to delete the lines here on the floor yet, just because that's how we're going to extrude up to make our doors if we don't put doors in. But you'll see these little lines that you could just clean up really quickly. And also, you could get rid of, if you want to at this point, you could always do it later, but you could delete these lines here where the door openings are. The only thing I would say is, like, this is a bathroom. When we change the material of the floor, you might have to redraw a line if, let's just say, you want tile in the bathroom compared to hardwood for the rest of your house. So if you're thinking each room's gonna have a different, like, material, such as like wood or carpet or tile, then you might want to leave just one line there so we could, make that room the specific material that you want it to be. But I'm just going to delete one line in each room just to show you what that would look like, and then go ahead on one of these and just take that one off just to show you that as well. And I'm going to orbit again because I think that, yes, this closet has a line here. So I'm going to delete that one. There we go. And we're just going to orbit quickly around. And there is another line over here and and in the closet there. But then I think it's good. And you know what? Just because it's bothering me, I'm going to delete that line too. Alright. So we orbit around here. It's looking good. I guess I could delete this line up here as well since we're already at it. And that is my house so far. So the next steps, of course, would be filling your rooms with furniture and changing the floors and doing all the fun stuff. But you also have to put in spaces for your windows as well. So that's what would be coming up in the next couple of videos and tutorials, and then I'll show you how to make an elevation of this house where you like put the roof on. You could put landscaping, maybe make a little driveway and garage, and just basically like spice up your house and give it a nice exterior. So that is basically it for this tutorial. Don't forget to save your file. Again, to save, you just have to click on my drive, click on that SketchUp folder I told you to make, and you can put in your last name, and you can put it as Dream House. And there you go. It is now saved.